Hello on this day of National Racial Healing. I'm so excited to come and bring you greetings and a message from Racial Healing and Wellness Coaching. My name is Rozella White, and I am a co-founder, and I'll share a little bit more about who we are and what we do, but I'd love to invite my co-founder and my team members to share a little bit about who they are.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Newman, and I'm a co-founder of Racial Healing and Wellness Coaching. And we started this work. I personally am invested in this work because I think two things. One, we're not going to think our way out of racism. And so we wanted to start a program that really focused on helping people connect to both their behaviors and how they were relating to others in the world from an embodied approach. And as a former organizer, I know that you can't shame people into accountability. And so it was really important for me to be a part of a program that both focused on mind, body, soul, and helped people to transform from the inside out so that they could transform the world around them.
Thanks, Nicole. And as I mentioned, my name is Rozella White. I am the co-founder alongside my sister, Nicole. And my why is simple, right? Until all of us, and especially Black women, experience healing and liberation, none of us will be free. And so for me, this work is very personal because it's rooted in my being. And I believe, much like Nicole, that this is not something we can think or even feel our way out of, right? This is a whole body experience and invitation to healing and wellness and collective liberation. So that is why we started and co-founded Racial Healing and Wellness Coaching, LLC. We'd love to introduce you to our team, our other incredible partners in this work. And so we'll invite Meredith and then Rachel to introduce themselves and their roles.
Thanks. I'm Meredith Beal and serve alongside this team in an operations role. So as we think about the why and talk a little bit further down the road about the what, operations really kind of brings the how. And so I'm working alongside each of you in defining the systems and the operating procedures we need to align our values with our vision and our hope. And so I'm thrilled to be a part of this team, and I'm really thankful for being a part of the first cohort of Racial Healing and Wellness for white women, and am committed to continuing the work and the discernment and the transformational healing. And so, Rachel, I'd love for you to share a little bit about your work with the team.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rachel Patterson. I'm almost 2 decades in education, and so my role is curriculum development manager. I look forward to creating fantastic materials for you all so that you can take this work and make the world a better place.
Thank you all. So we're having just this, we wanted to come on briefly today because we want to invite you to a larger conversation. So beginning in Black History Month on February 1st, which is a Wednesday, we will be hosting a weekly series that looks at the core tenets of racial healing and wellness coaching, which are around our spirituality, our values, our relationships, and ultimately our embodiment, which is the way that we show up in the world. So there is a link to register for this conversation. It's free. You can watch it when you're available, but we want to make sure that we get your information so we can send you the premiere dates and times. So there's a link that you can go to either in the bio or down below in the comments of our upcoming conversation. We want to share just a little bit about what makes us different. So Nicole's going to talk a little bit about our embodied and spiritual lens of racial healing and wellness coaching.
Thanks, Rozella. So the first thing I wanted to share is why this is a key pillar of our work. Is because this is first, like I said, it's not a head exercise, right? We're talking about deeply embedded, deeply held systems and beliefs that get baked into our institutions and how our world and our country functions. And so we know that to address those things, it's going to take more than just goodwill and desire. And so the best way to do that, and that we believe, is to help people to think about what does white supremacy, what does internalized racism rob us of in our bodies, in our lived experiences, in our everyday lives. And once we get in contact with that, right, once we are really clear about that, we can then change our behaviors, we can change our relationships to one another. And so the embodiment piece of this is because we believe that the best way to change our world and to change our communities is to be practicing something different at the individual level. And so we want to make sure that that is clear and that that is part of the work that we do. And so the other part of this work is that Rozella and I both come from spiritual backgrounds and religious backgrounds. And we know that part of how you build the beloved community is that you don't shame people into being something different, but you invite and you keep building a wider table. You keep building a table that makes it so that people can show up with their different strengths, their different gifts, all of who they are, because we know that some of the work that we're doing is around fighting systems, and that work is deeply spiritual and deeply embodied. And so we keep using those words because what it means for us is that this work is not political. There's a political element to it. It's not just about organizing, right? It's not just about behavior. It's not who you're friends with. It's not who you choose to be in relationship with, but it's all of that. And that starts at the core of who you are, which is both a spiritual being and an embodied being.
Yeah. And I would say the other thing that makes racial healing and wellness coaching a little bit different is our emphasis on healing and wellness, right? This is an invitation to deeply therapeutic work. And I use the term therapeutic, even as we're not therapists, we are coaches and chaplains and all of those great things. But I use the therapeutic language because we're talking about healing deeply held wounds that people are experiencing, that whole communities are experiencing, that our society has experienced, and building a community and a collective consciousness around wellness. What does it mean to be made well? What does it mean to experience healing and those places and spaces that continue to, in some respects, bleed out, if you will? And how are we collectively working towards moving us, again, out of a head exercise, out of a heart exercise, into a full body and communal exercise? And so our goal is that this work will become more deeply centered and situated in the health and wellness field and community.
And our key demographic is women, and that is intentional and for a reason. One, we know that women are often the backbone of communities, of institutions, and undergird all of the systems and structures that guide our society. And so our target population is working with women because we know the power of women, and we also know that that women often, if you look at key points in history, have either been on the pushing for justice, right? Or in the case of sometimes with white women, pushing for the status quo to be maintained. And so our work works with women as a key demographic because we believe in the power of helping women to get in contact with what is true for them, what their deepest yes is, what's embodied in them, and helping them to think about the role that they play as both change agents in their communities and institutions, and also how they perpetuate and hold up systems that might not be working for them as they suffer under the weight of patriarchy.
And so again, we invite you to join us for a weekly conversation series happening in February, which is Black History Month, as we continue to go deeper on these areas and continue to engage this conversation around racial healing and wellness. And again, you can find the link to sign up and to share some information with us, both in our bio and below in our comments. One of the key parts of what we do is around grounding, and we use art and spirituality and reflection tools to get us more deeply seated and rooted in our bodies. And Nicole, as my co-founder, is also an artist. She is a creative and a poet. So she's going to share with us an offering on this evening or today.
Beautiful. So this is a poem not written by me, but written by Jacqueline Allen Trimble. It is called "This Is Why People Are Burning Down Fast Food Joints and Whatnot." She starts with the question, how do others sin against you? By cursing me, telling lies about me, or striking me? And what must you do to those who sin against you? I must forgive them. See, I learned my catechism well. Learned to offer my cloak and coat, my cheek, again and again, as the skin was splayed from my body. I can quote Martin Luther King Jr. with ease, praise the Americana of his martyrdom, the sweet, unselfish beauty of that bullet's velocity. Shall I sing "We Shall Overcome" while I swing? I have so long wanted to believe in justice, to think of how each blow as recompense for my own wickedness. How can I continue? How can I continue? How can I continue to take and eat this image of myself, choke on the eloquence of my dissent, speak love fluently to someone with his knee on my neck?
Thank you, Nicole. We invite you to be a part of this journey with us as we seek out not only our own individual healing, but our collective healing, as we curate spaces and communities and families and collectives of wellness. And as we reckon, right, with the truth of who we've been, who we are, and what's possible when we engage this work. So please join us for our conversation series on embodied healing, holistic wellness, this Black History Month, beginning on Wednesday, February 1st. To get information about when we'll be going live, make sure to sign up at the link in the bio or the link below, and we look forward to journeying with you.